Hi, I'm Darren Miles with Darren Miles Photography, based here in beautiful, sunny Southwest Florida. In my quest to improve the content of my YouTube channel, one of the things that I decided to do is bring you more business-related stuff. And today what I thought I would do is give you my top 5 favorite photography-related websites in cyberspace. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. Anytime anybody does a top 5 list like this, just please keep in mind that, number one, it's highly subjective. That is, I'm giving you a top 5 list based on the websites that I'm familiar with and the ones that I use on a regular basis. That's number one. And number two, I am positive there are a ton of photography-related websites out there that either A, I'm not familiar with, or B, just aren't as big as the ones that I'm listing here, and maybe they're just a little bit harder to find. But I'm sure they're awesome. Moreover, I'm sure you'll tell us or tell me all about them. And the point of a video like this really is to bring about more discussion, because there are a lot of resources out there that a lot of us just aren't all that familiar with. And I think a video like this allows people to post and get out into the hands of lots of other photographers in the community websites they may not otherwise be familiar with that turn out to be just fantastic resources. So with that out of the way, let me get into my top 5 favorite photography related websites. Number 5 is photographyblog.com. When I first got into photography and was curious about industry news and new gear and new lenses, different techniques, etc., one of the websites that I found initially was photographyblog.com. And I find that on the whole, the reviews are relatively unbiased, although there are times when I feel like he isn't as harsh, or she, I'm not sure if it's he or she, that it isn't as harsh as they could or should be on certain pieces of gear. But on the whole, what I like about Photography Blog is that they're very up to date with the latest industry news, new camera releases, new lens releases, new software apps, etc. And they do a very fair amount and consistent rate of reviews on new content and new gear that's in the marketplace. Now, recently, and by recently I mean the last 6 to 12 months, I've noticed that there's been a bit of a shift on that website. And all I mean by that is, it seems that there's a lot more ads that are becoming more and more intrusive that frankly is getting in the way of the user experience on that website. And to me, it's kind of a shame, because Photography Blog has long been one of my favorite websites in cyberspace, but the last 6 or 8 months I find it harder to use, especially on my cell phone, because the ads tend to take up the whole screen and I can't find the X to X out of them, and they're kind of getting in the way. But that nit aside, photographyblog.com still does in fact offer quite a bit of really great content. Number 4 is PetaPixel.com. PetaPixel is actually a relatively new find for me personally. I know a lot of photographers out there have been using PetaPixel for a while. I think it was Tony Hoffer actually mentioned it once on FredMiranda.com about comparing the D750 to the 5D3 and one of the reasons why it changed, whatever, but it linked to a PetaPixel article and it showed the differences between the D750 in low light and the 5D3 in low light, and it kind of actually was one of the reasons why I switched over to Nikon. That was actually like further validation for me. But regardless, I found that article on PetaPixel, and from there I saw a lot of really great and informative articles about different techniques that other photographers were using, really cool landscape ideas, portrait ideas, fantastic gear reviews, a decent podcast that they offer on that site. Overall, PetaPixel to me is just a really great resource for information on the industry in general. It's a great website. Check it out at petapixel.com. Number 3 is David Hobby's Strobist.com. Strobist. It's like strobe light, but Strobist. When I first get into photography, like a lot of people, when you first get into this thing, one of the biggest struggles and mysteries is lighting, and specifically speed lighting and off-camera flash and that sort of thing. David Hobby does a really great job of breaking it all down to its simplest form. Moreover, he's a tremendous resource on where to buy various lighting products, light shaping tools, a lot of do-it-yourself type setups, where to save money, where to spend money. Overall, it's just a fantastic site on how to utilize or take better advantage of your strobe lights, and just offers up some really great technique and a really great place to go to get not necessarily the cheapest gear or the most expensive gear, but sometimes some of the best gear for pretty short money. He's a really, really great resource for that. Number 2 is the Phoblographer.com. I discovered the Phoblographer probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know how new or how old the site is, But like PetaPixel, the Phoblographer does a really good job of bringing industry news, industry trends, and what I believe are some of the best gear reviews, some of the best and most unbiased gear reviews in cyberspace. Harsh where they need to be harsh, and really giddy where they need to be giddy with regard to new and or exciting gear that's out there. So the Phoblographer to me is a great resource for new techniques, for gear reviews, and for just overall industry trends and industry news. So Phoblographer is number 2. Which of course brings us to number 1. Now before we get to number 1, one of the things I want to talk to you about is, as many of you know, if you've been watching my channel, I do a ton, and I mean a ton, of real estate photography. I shoot in the neighborhood of 1,000 homes per year, and yes, that pun of neighborhood was intended. I shoot about 1,000 homes a year, and I've kind of become an expert in real estate photography. I just do a lot of it. And I decided to compile a lot of the information on how I actually am able to do 1,000 homes a year, or photograph 1,000 homes a year, and put it into an online course that's now available for purchase. And I recently updated the course to include a more in-depth section about the post-processing and how to get that magazine quality type look. So check it out, go to darrenmiles.com, click on education, and pull up Camp Miles Real Estate Photography for the Real World. And if you utilize this code, FB92017, you can take 40 bucks off the course. 40 bucks, which brings it down to $109, which is considerably less than what I charge for one photo shoot. So it's good value, check it out, lots of good content, and will help you get started in real estate photography. Which of course now brings us to number 1. My number one favorite photography related website in cyberspace is FredMiranda.com. I discovered Fred Miranda, I think back in 2009. That's when I first became a member of that site. And in addition to phenomenal presentation boards, thousands of unbelievably gifted photographers who share their images, it's a great place for actual user-related camera and lens reviews. It's also, in my humble opinion, the single best buy and sell board in all of cyberspace. What's so great about the buy and sell board at Fred Miranda is that it's a whole lot cheaper than eBay. It's photography specific. Virtually any piece of gear that you can think of is on there most of the time. Obviously there are certain pieces of gear that are hard to get a hold of, maybe those aren't on there. But on the whole, FredMiranda.com and their buy-sell board is just incredible. Fred Miranda himself has done a great job. He's a hell of a landscape photographer, and it's just my overall favorite website in cyberspace. So there you have it. That's my top 5. What I'd like you to do, tell me the websites that I missed, tell me where you think I'm right, tell me where, and in fact I know you will tell me where you think I am wrong. Anyway, if you like videos like this, more top 5s and that kind of thing, or maybe even some more technique type videos, go ahead and click a like or click subscribe. And until the next time, happy shooting, and thank you so much for watching.